Hello everybody, Ninjo X here. Welcome to another new Enlightened vlogs. This cat is so in the way. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've kind of wordsed on before. Kind of touched on before, but I've never really gotten too in-depth with. I am a video gaming advocate. I like to talk and to promote video games. That's a big reason why I became a YouTuber, and it's pretty much the biggest reason why a lot of other people became gaming YouTubers. We have a voice and we want it to be heard. And if it costs money and time, then so be it. When it starts giving us money, then all the more incentive to keep it up. I haven't made any money yet, so I'm not quite to that point, but one thing that's very important that I think a lot of us forget, that's really, really hard to remember, is humility. Humility with what we believe, accepting that what we think is not necessarily fact, but can still be opinion. I wasn't in the middle of the camera frame. I have a lot of problems with that. But today, I wanted to talk about the importance of that humility and avoiding smugness. Smugness, the elitism, thinking that you're superior because of the way you think or because of your tastes. Well, Ninja, aren't you being a huge hypocrite? I am and I'm not. I am being a hypocrite in that I'm really, really passionate about the video games that I like, and almost equally passionate about the few that I dislike. But I'm not in the sense that I'm willing to accept that I could be wrong. That just because I have an opinion, it's not a fact. That just because I theorize doesn't mean that I necessarily think that if something came out that disproved what I said, I would strongly consider it and accept it. If I still liked my idea better, then I'd say, I like my idea better, but that's clearly not what it is. Anyway, it's important to remember to be humble. Especially on a place like the internet, like YouTube, where so much arrogance is passed around. I see these videos sometimes on the sides of my suggested feed that say things like, the top 35 reasons why blank sucks. Top 137 reasons why it is awful. Top 12 reasons why blank is the best thing ever that has ever been ever on Everplanet, Everland, forever. And it's just, I don't believe that. When I very first got into YouTube, obviously I wasn't a content creator. This channel's been around for a long time before the fact, get out of the frame. But when I first got into it, the main thing I looked at were top 10s. Top 10s for game reviews, because I already know about the game. Why would I want to hear more about it? If I really want to hear about it, I'll look it up. Look it up on Google. I'll read a review. But the one thing that always bugged me with top 10s was basically whenever people would have a different opinion on something. And I never had a voice. So back when I was conceiving the possibility of making a YouTube channel that actually created and uploaded videos, I wanted to do top 10s. I wanted to do top 10s to denounce other people's incorrect ideas. I wanted to create it for smugness. And in that time, I discovered other types of YouTube channels. A lot of them still do top 10s, but other ones are game reviewers. I've discovered The Completionist, Peanut Butter Gamer. I've discovered Josh Jepson and Super Genius and Masay Anella and so many other great YouTubers. Chugga Conroy, Proton John. And I think Gaijin Goomba said it best in his Ocarina of Time versus A Link to the Past video. The fact of the matter is, everyone's wrong and everyone's right. We believe what we believe if we've come to it for the right reasons. If we are making an informed decision that influences our opinions. Everyone is wrong and everyone is right. There is no game that is universally bad. Because there's no game that's universally panned. There are masochists out there that love Superman 64. Heck, I've even met people that liked E.T. for the Atari. If you could even believe that. And I've met people that hate Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past. That hate Pokemon after playing it. That hate games that I love. Even Banjo-Kazooie, I've met its fair share of critics. That's just the way things are. The trick is not being smug about it. That's why I don't make top 10s. That's why I run a Let's Play channel. It's a bit unique as far as Let's Play channels go in that it's not primarily comedic, but that's the whole, The whole point is to avoid being smug about your opinions. To say, I really like blank and blank, I really dislike blank. Other people like the blank that I dislike, and other people dislike the blank and blank that I like. As long as they're not just covering their ears and shouting at the top of their lungs, me and myself, and I am right because me. Then they have a right to their informed opinion. I've mentioned it before, Banjo-Kazooie is my absolute favorite game of all time. I'm not going to get into why, because I do have something huge planned for that game. Though it's not going to be for a while. But there are people that don't like Banjo-Kazooie. There are people that think it's too hard. There are people that think that the character voices and the repeating sound effects are so annoying that they can't get through the game. There are people that can't stand the way Gruntilda always has to rhyme in the first game. And there are even people who don't like the gameplay simply because it's a platformer. Even as much as I wholeheartedly disagree with that, they're not wrong. But I'm not wrong. We are all correct. But we're all correct in different ways. Opinions cannot be fact. Unless it's a fact of an opinion. If I said, let me think of something because I don't want to be too polarizing to anybody. If I said, Gerard thinks that Banjo-Kazooie is a fantastic game. By personal association, that is a fact. Because he has stated it before. He gave Banjo-Kazooie his completed rating. Or, thank you, Facebook, if I were to say, I think that Twilight Princess is a fantastic game in the Zelda franchise, every bit worthy of the Zelda title, and the title of Legend, that is also a fact. But to flat out say, blank is the best it's ever been, and blank is clearly the worst. Clearly the worst. That's where the smugness gets in, is with that word, clearly. When an opinion becomes obvious enough that everybody must share it, and everybody that doesn't share it is a fool. But the real fool is you. There's a reason that I go through, whenever I do Let's Plays, I play the more dated version of games a lot of times. I played Pokemon Blue instead of Leaf Green. I played Twilight Princess on the GameCube instead of on the Wii. I'm playing Viva Pinata on side instead of Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise. The reason for that is that small details get lost in translation, for better or for worse. And this is kind of a vlog for another time, but that's just my general opinion on remakes and ports. But there are people that only play the remakes because they're the graphically better, and gameplay wise there's more to them in a lot of cases, such as Fire Red and Leaf Green. Am I bashing those games? No! I have a copy of both Fire Red and Leaf Green, and unlike the many copies of Sapphire that I've obtained, they both still save and they both still play. And they're great games. Will I stop playing Red, Blue, or Yellow because they're great games? No, I won't. And it's for more reasons than just nostalgia. It's because sometimes less is more. But this is getting me off topic. Again, that's another vlog for another day. I want to talk to you all about smugness. How to avoid smugness. How to avoid that elitist superior thinking while still being confident in what you say. The secret is generalization. If I say, I think Banjo-Kazooie is the best game on the Nintendo 64, then I'm saying it as my own personal perspective. But if I say Banjo-Kazooie is the best game for the Nintendo 64, definitively, matter of fact, even if I say it with a tone of kindness in my voice, it's still smug in a sense, and still wrong. Don't give in to that. Be confident and be passionate, but don't tread over that fine line into arrogance, smugness, or elitism. Love what you love. Don't hate other people for not loving it. And vice versa. Hate what you hate, and don't dislike other people for loving it. It's just a fact of life. I don't even like to talk about the games that I don't like, because I approach all video games with the stance of trying to love them, trying my very best. Be it Tiny Tank, or Sonic 06, or Ocarina of Time. No matter how good or bad a game is perceived by the public, I always try to experience it for myself before passing judgment. with one exception of a franchise that I truly loathe. A franchise that will never be on this channel. Because it opposes what this channel is for. Everything else is fair game. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sega, Apple. They all make some good games. And they all make some games that I don't like. I'm passionate about what I feel, what I believe. But if my favorite video game series is Banjo-Kazooie. I've said that like 5 times in this vlog. If your favorite video game series is one of the ones that I dislike, then that's okay. If you come up to me at a convention and explain why you like it, I'd be glad to hear you out. Just because something is what I think or something is my perspective doesn't make me right or wrong. It can't make me right or wrong. It's not physically possible. Because my perspective... There's an old saying, to get to know a man, walk 1,000 miles in his shoes. The point is that we're not so different, you and I, and others. And had we lived another's life, perhaps we would have came to think the way they did. Or perhaps not. There's no sense in being smug or spiteful, or angry, or judgmental. And it's a hard thing to do. I've slipped up at times. I've gotten other people angry. I've gotten angry myself. Defensive, frustrated, flustered. To the point of tears and to the point of throwing blows. But the fact is, at the end of the day, they came to their opinions for a reason. And so long as they did, they're entitled to them. Walking the fine line between passion and smug elitism is just one of the many ways. Until next time, we can stay enlightened.